Hi everyone, my name's Becky from Back to Blighty and welcome back to the podcast. I'm coming at you today from Sussex, which is in the southeast of England, where I live with my partner, our son and our Springer Spaniel called Molly. So welcome back today. It's episode 5 and the eagle-eyed amongst you might realise that it's not been a while since my last podcast. I've been going on about how there's been such a gap and there isn't. It's only 2 or 3 weeks, so pretty pleased with that. I've got lots going on today and lots to share with you, including some really exciting news that's coming up, which you can all get involved with, so stick around for that. First of all, you can find me on Instagram as Back to Blighty, on Facebook as Back to Blighty, on Ravelry as Knitting in Blighty, and there's also now a group for the Knitting in Blighty podcast. I've got a little thread up there which you can ask me anything, and I'm hoping when I've got a few together I shall do a little questions and answers type thing on here, so pop over for that. I shall put all the links down below to everything where you can find me and also all the things I'm going to be talking about today. So I've got some finished objects, I've got some whips, I've got acquisitions, I've got a golden oldie, tiny shop update. You're not here for that, but I just thought I'd share a couple of things that are coming into the shop that I think are quite exciting. Let me know what you think. So I've got lots to talk about today. But first of all, I am hosting a make-along. I know, very exciting. And I'm hosting it with Ali, who is from the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. Now, obviously there's the Strictly Sock-along going on at the moment, which is brilliant, and I am taking part in that, bending the rules, but taking part nevertheless. Checked with Ali, it's all good. But we're doing a make-along that's going to be starting on the 1st of November and run through to the 1st of February, and it's going to be the Cosy Up for Winter mal. Now, I'm not a crocheter. I would love to crochet, but I knit, and I haven't got time to try out a new craft. I'd love someone to sit down and show me how to crochet, but I haven't got the time. However, Ali is a crocheter, so for this mal we're going to have crochet and knitting projects that can come into that. So the Cosy Up for Winter mal is all about either making a cosy or a warmer for an inanimate object. That's really hard to say. For an inanimate object. Okay, so that could be either a tea cosy, a hot water bottle cover, a mug cosy, all sorts of things like that. But it can also be for some other weird things. Now, I went on Ravelry and I've opened up a like a little, what is it called? Under my favourites, that's it. So under my favourites there's a little one that says Cosy Up for Winter. And I've been looking through all these things that you could find, that you could make, which might take up a few scraps or things like that. You know, you don't have to get loads of new yarn for anything. They can be really small, really tiny, really quick projects. But I found some really exciting things. So I'm going to read some because I've made a list here, but I will link that favourites bundle down below. You could make a bike seat cover, a gear stick cover, golf club cozies, apple cozies, jar cozies, even a clock cozy. I mean, the opportunities are endless. So I've put that together. My Ravelry page is going to host the chatter and the finished objects for all the knitting related Cosy Up for Winter mals. And Ali's is going to be the crochet side of it. So she's going to have a chatter thread for the crochet, and she's also going to have a finished objects thread as well. There's going to be prizes. We are going to give prizes out, so it's well worth getting involved. We're going to have finished object prizes, and we're going to have whoever comes up with the most creative, weird and wonderful warmer or cosy or protector. So get involved. It'll be really great. Really exciting. Can't wait. It's my first ever mal, and thank you, Ali. I'm so glad that you've jumped on board with me and we're doing this together. It's really, really exciting. So look out for that. I shall also put up a hashtag which will be Cosy Up for Winter mal. So share away on Instagram. We would love to see what you're coming up with and what your ideas are. So very exciting. Great stuff. So before we start, let me point out what I'm wearing. I am wearing a me-made blouse. It's in this lovely Liberty fabric, which has got teapots all over it. So I will stand up so you can have a little look. I don't know if you can see, there's lots of teapots. This pattern is the Sew Over It vintage shirt dress pattern, and I hacked it. I made it into a blouse. I've done that several times with that pattern. Love the pattern, it's brilliant. If you haven't checked it out, you must. It's a really good pattern. But I didn't have very much of the fabric, and I knew I wanted a blouse, so I obviously cropped it into a blouse, and I also omitted the lapel. So I've got this bit of the collar, but it hasn't got the lapels here. So yeah, really like it. Like a bit of a puff in the sleeves. Everyone loves a puff, don't they? So yeah, really like this blouse. Wear it lots, and that's about it for the sewing related stuff. Sorry sewers, next time. Okay, so let's talk about finished objects. I have 1.5 finished objects, no less, which isn't bad going, considering I only podcasted a few weeks ago. Quite proud of myself. So the first up is a hat, and I shall get it for you now. So here is my hat. Look at those cables. Whoops. Okay, so this is the Barley Hat by Lisa Richardson, and it's a pattern out of the Rowan Knitting and Crochet magazine, and it's number 60. I've actually got it here. It's this one here. There we go. And I can actually show you the pattern if I can find it. Really loved working on this pattern. It's beautiful. Love. Everyone knows I love a good cable. And it's just a stunning hat. Now the pattern calls for the pattern repeat to be done 3 times, and I just thought, oh my goodness, I'm like, my head would be like that long. That would like be ridiculous. So I went on to Ravelry, and there were a few people that had made this hat and decided to omit the last pattern repeat, which is what I did, and it's perfect slouchy enough. So I did 2 pattern repeats. I love these wraps. They are just beautiful. And the yarn, if I can come a bit closer, I don't know if you can see the yarn, is 3 yarns held together. So I used Rowan Kidsilk Haze in like a pale grey. I can't remember what colour it was. I think they just shade numbers anyway, but it was like a pale grey. Then I used my Olann sock yarn that I showed on a previous episode. I used that together with my Tutt, It Looks Like Rain luxury yarn. There's actually a sale on in the shop at the moment for my luxury yarn. And it's luxury because it has merino, bamboo and silk. So not only have I got this lovely fluffiness and this gorgeous halo from the Kidsilk Haze, it's got wonderful drape and shine, and it's just got some really gorgeous browns. I don't know if you can see, it's sort of obviously predominantly grey, but there's some really warm tones in there. So I'm going to pop it on so you can have a look. Love a slouchy hat. Okay, so there you go. What do you think? Love this hat. It's so pretty. And it feels just want to stroke it, sit there stroking my head for hours. Love it. So obviously got a massive pom-pom, got to do a good pom-pom, and that was from Amazon, believe it or not. You can get loads of these pom-poms on Etsy, but they're like from America, and I don't want to pay like loads for shipping and stuff like that. So yeah, Amazon. Haven't got many colours, but I wanted a white one, so happy with that. Really squishy and soft. That's my first finished object. Next, I have got a sock. I finished a sock. You may remember last time that I was knitting my Around the World in 80 Days sock, and I was doing the Love Sock heel. So here it is. I should have put it on a blocker actually. There's always something I forget during a podcast, but so there's the heel and also the toe, and I did like a graded toe where I just did, what did I do? I alternated rows with the solid colour for a bit, and then I did 1 row solid, 1 row main colour, 2 rows solid, 1 row main colour, and then I completed it. And I really like the way that looks. If you can see that. So yeah, so good. The I've blocked this one and the heel has come out pretty well. So, you know, I was saying to you about that heel and how it was a little bit ripply, but it's fine. Love this sock. Now, this is a pattern by Devin Clement. I only stole the heel from her pattern. The rest of it, I just did my usual 64 stitches, 2x2 rib, worked down 5 inches, did a heel, just did a, what's that? Oh, that heel. Oh my goodness, heel, flap and gusset, that's the one. And then a wedge toe, so I just stole the heart. I'm on my second one. I'm ready to turn the heel, so I've done that much again. Yeah, love this yarn. A few people have asked me if I'm going to be doing this yarn again. Yes, I am. I'm just waiting for one of the dyes to come through that I used in this colourway, so they'll be up again soon. So that's done. Well, half done, 3/4 done, nearly done. So yeah, so that's it as far as finished objects, and obviously a bit of a whip there. Now it's the Strictly Sock Along. How exciting. Now I contacted Ali because I don't actually have a telly. I know that sounds really weird, right? But I don't have a telly, and partly because about 4 years or so ago now, we decided that we weren't watching it. There was just nothing on that we wanted to watch. So we thought, well, why are we paying for a TV licence when the only time you want to watch telly is like on a Sunday night, and there was nothing on. So we did away with it. So I spoke to Ali and I said, Ali, I know you said rule bending's cool and that's fine, but is this like bending one rule too far? And she said no. So I have been doing it when I've been during the time slot that Strictly would be on the telly. But I dance with a Morris side, and so when I dance, I also do a bit of knitting then as well, if I've been dancing, only a little bit. Now, I'm going to show you the yarn because this yarn was actually an acquisition. So it's a bit of a mess actually, it's got a bit squished in my sock bag. But I am using this yarn. And this yarn is, oh, it's gone in the shade a bit. This is Life in the Long Grass yarn, and it's the weathered colourway, and I just really love the autumn tones in it. It's just beautiful. Now I was going to use a mini that I had dyed up, and this is a sparkle mini which I dyed up using fern leaves, and it comes out this gorgeous buttery colour and it goes really well. But I decided that I really like the socks as they were, and I think the pattern speaks for itself. So this sock pattern is called the Wyatt sock pattern, and it's free on Ravelry, and it's by the Crazy Sock Lady, and it's got this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous twisted effect on the front, and then a stocking stitch on the back, and I love it. So again, I'm using my own sort of sizing really. Again, it's 64 stitches, and I'm doing a German short row heel because I really like them at the moment. So I've done that much. You can see there that only a bit of the pattern is on the front, the rest of it's stuck in it. And I really love the way you can see actually the different effects just by changing the stitch of how the yarn knits up. I really like that. So yeah, so they're my Strictly Autumn socks, so they're coming along really well, and I kind of want to knit on them all the time, but I am trying to stick to the rules as far as humanly possible. Yeah, so another pair of socks, which means I haven't touched my ripple socks because, you know, I've got other stuff going on, and yeah, that's that. Okay, excuse me, so okay, big project. So last time I was saying to you that I really wanted to cast on the Hoodie Shawl cardigan, and I have. And I dyed up some yarn. 2 of them I really like. The third one I'm not sure about. I might over dye it slightly because it's a bit bright. Let me know what you think. So this is in my flamingo bag. And by the way, there is a sale on in my Etsy shop, and I think there's one of these in the sale. So, but they're really good size, especially for a project like a cardigan or, you know, a larger project. So, the Hoodie Shawl cardigan is by Suzanne Sommer. and I shall show you the picture. Excuse the rustling. So this is the pattern here. And what I love about this is you actually knit the shawl part first, which comes over the shoulders. Now, I've done this much. Look at this. So these are the two colours that I really like. Oops. It's like a deep teal and a white with orange speckles. I shall get them out here. So there's those two, which I really like. And yeah, they're going to be good together. And I have done just basically over the arm. So this bit, you can't really see. I've got such a short circular needle. I meant to actually put a longer one on, but you know, sometimes you just want to knit, don't you? So yeah, so it kind of will go kind of like that. And the shawl is at the back of the back of the cardigan. That's what I was going to say. Okay, so I've got these two colours, and I'm thinking that my third colour is going to be this. And I love the colour. It's a great colour. But kind of wondering if it's going to be too bright. What do you think? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit it up and see. There's a little swatch that I did of that colour. It's got some orangey brown flecks in it, which obviously won't come out like that on a grander scale. They'll be much more sort of intermittent. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. Loving the pattern though. It's brilliant. And I like a pattern where you can tick things off. It sort of fulfills some sort of weird, I don't know, thing in me that likes ticking stuff off. Maybe that's a sort of old teacher in me, I don't know. What I really like about it, and I'm going to try not to show you the whole pattern, because obviously it's a paid for pattern, is their stitch counts after certain rows. Can you see that? So there's loads of stitch counts, which means that you can just tick off things all the time. So yeah, love it, love it. So I've been quite busy on that. I'm liking how it's turning out. So it looks a bit tiny, so it's slightly stressed. I did swatch and I did get gauge across the stitches, but it was a little bit shorter in the rows. But I decided that that was the best gauge to go with. So I'm going to see, I might have to do a few modifications, but I'll have to try it on and see how that goes. So yeah, doing pretty well this month, huh? Quite pleased with myself. Right, okay, let's do Golden Oldie. If you have an aversion to dolls, I suggest you look away now. So, I found this pattern and I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, my mum knitted this for my doll, and I've still got the doll. I've got Tiny Tears, and Tiny Tears sits on top of my wardrobe. And she wears this outfit. So I'm going to show you the pattern. Here we go. They've got some 1970s scary dolls there for you. And so I was really thrilled to pick this up. Mum, she was like me. She ticked stuff off. All their tickings and yeah, counting. So anyway, so I thought I'd show you Tiny Tears. And she's a bit old and she's a bit worn, but here is the pattern. Look at that. So she's got her leggings, which are, I think they've seen better days, to be honest, and a little jacket and also the bonnet. So yeah, love it, love it. So yeah, so I was really thrilled to see that pattern, and I mean, you know, this must have been made, I don't know, 40 years ago. I'm 44 now, so yeah, a long time ago. And I think there's some pictures of me holding this as a child, so I shall have to try and make that out. But yeah, so that's my golden oldie for this time. Put the scary doll away now. Okay, acquisitions. So I've got a few acquisitions. Now I went into Yak with my son and his lovely girlfriend a week or so ago, and so I had to buy something. Now obviously I bought the weathered yarn from Life in the Long Grass, which my Strictly socks are currently being made into. No, they're not. Which is currently being made into my Strictly autumn socks. But also I fell in love with this colour, and just because the colour is just so vibrant and so lovely. So this yarn is from the Uncommon thread, and apparently she's a Sussex dyer as well, so it's always good to support local things. And this is the Lust colourway, and it just glows. Look at that. It's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. Don't know what I'm going to make out of it. It is a sport weight yarn, and it's 100% superwash merino wool. And you get 300 metres actually for 100 grams, so that's pretty good actually. So I'm not sure. I don't know whether I'm going to make a hat or a cowl, but it is the most divine colour. So looking forward, that's just going to go into my stash because I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But it was one of those yarns. I always think when you go to these places, if you can't walk past it and you just have to have it because of the colour or because of the way it feels, then just buy it. It will turn into something beautiful one day. So so that was my little sort of, I don't know, purchase on a whim yarn. Love it. We all bought something. My son spent a fortune, but he bought some amazing stuff. So yeah, might get to share that with you at some point. The other acquisition I got, and it was because it was in the sale. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be disappointed because we've been here before. I've bought sock yarn that's commercial and it hasn't turned out the way I liked, as you know. However, I bought some of this, is it Regia or Regia? I don't know how you pronounce that. There you go. And it's got these lovely colours in it. And this one is design line by Arne and Carlos, who are based in Norway, I believe, and they have a podcast. So you should go and have a look at that to have a look. It's quite an interesting podcast. So so yeah, so it's got a pattern to it. It comes up like this. Can you see that? I'm not sure. So it's got a pattern. And as I was looking at it, I had my little mini skein that I was going to use on my Strictly socks, and I thought, oh my goodness, that goes amazingly well. I don't know if you can see in this light, but it's got some browns in it. So I think I might use that as my heels, toes and cuffs. So yes, I'm quite excited about that. Thinking maybe some long socks. It's getting to that time of year, people. It's autumn, my favourite time. And yeah, we need to cozy up for winter. Do you like what I did there? Brilliant. Okay, so they are my acquisitions this time. So otherwise, very quick shop update. These are going to be going into the shop at the end of this week. And I wanted to show you two. So the first one is called Remembrance. So yeah. Now, I don't know if you can see in this light. The light's not great today. It's a really vibrant red with black speckles and then a real plummy red for heels, toes and cuffs. So it is just like the poppies. And poppies are very dear to my heart because they remind me of my mum. My mum loved poppies and she was also a Wren in the Navy. I come from a military family. And yeah, and I just wanted to do something because there's lots of poppies around and yeah, so I love it. So this is a smaller skein. This is a 50 gram skein and a 25. So it will be plenty enough to make a pair of socks, but it also makes it a little bit cheaper if you want to buy these. Sometimes we have loads of yarn left over from sock knitting. So with this, the idea is that you won't really have much left at all after you've knitted your socks. And if you have, you can make maybe a little knitty poppy. I want to do that. Yeah, really pleased with that. So that's going to be up. And another one that I've got coming up is Sky Blue Pink. I just sort out my skeins, they're a bit didn't think of that. Oh dear. Please ignore the messy skeins. I will tidy them up a bit before I put them in the shop. So this is sky blue pink. And it's some really muted purples and pinks and this lovely, lovely blue. It's really pretty. It's coming out a bit brighter than it is. It's a little bit more subdued than that in real life. But yeah, so that's coming up into the shop too. So they'll be going up. And yeah, I think that's probably about my lot this time. So don't forget, pop on over to Ravelry to find out about the Cosy Up for Winter Mal. Crochet is Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful podcast, and the knitting is Knitting in Blighty, which is me. Come over for a chat. Love to hear about what you're going to make and what your plans are. As I say, anything goes really, as long as you can warm something with it or cozy something up in it or protect it. Rules can be broken. So yeah, so join along, it will be great. And that's it from me. So until next time, I shall say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been great to spend some time with you today. So take care. Bye.